and I'm the host of WomanVision TV. It's a public access and internet television show. I'm having a lot of fun with that.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. That sounds exciting. Will you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, it's like I said, it's a public access and internet television show, and the reason I call it both, I do have some time slots in the Minnetonka LMCC public access station, I think Tuesdays at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., and Wednesdays at 10:30 a.m. and p.m., and Thursdays at 7:30 a.m. and p.m. The time might be a half hour in there. But it's much more easily accessible through my website, NadiaGiordana.com, where viewers who might not have access to the channel there, which they can go to the website and see the episodes all the time. They're there continuously.
Very, very interesting. How did you get started in this?
In kind of a roundabout way.
Oh, okay.
A real roundabout way.
Would you tell us a little bit how?
I will. We can go back to 2006, and I was working in the corporate world and got hit with the recession and the layoffs at that time. Yes. And fell to the axe for the kind of things that were happening then. And I was 59 years old. I was definitely overweight, feeling old, and I sat on my couch for a year feeling sorry for myself and thinking, my whole life is over. I'm too old to get started again. I'm too old to do this. I'm too old to do other things. And it doesn't take long before you realize, no, that's not true.
Right.
That's not true. I can do some things. And the first thing that I did, which I still had no idea I was going to be doing a television show or anything like this, I needed to lose the weight. I needed to do that for my health, to feel better. Afterwards, I realized what a sense of accomplishment I got from doing that. And as an aside, I lost 88 pounds. So that's a pretty big deal.
Wonderful. Oh my
Well,
gosh.
that's great.
So in the wake of that, I'm feeling so powerful, feeling I can do this. I'm not too old to do anything that I might want to do. And then that's when I realized, what else can I do that would be a challenge? What else am I afraid of? What else have I never done in my life? And the next thing had to be public speaking and doing something where I could talk to the public. I've spent a lifetime with a paralyzing fear of public speaking.
Oh
I couldn't handle speech class in high school. I just froze and stood there like, like you've seen people do. And so I decided that I would work on that challenge, and I rolled with that. I did a couple of things at home with my own camera, some things for my websites, and then I did some internet radio for a while. And that was fun. That was fun, and it was a good first step because I could have my notes right here. If my brain froze, I have my notes right here, and no one would see me checking my notes. I could read pretty well, so I got through that. And after about a year and a half, 2 years, that got to be a little boring. I thought, what? Now what can I do? And then because I have such a love for the technical aspects of this. I like being on the other side of the camera. I like operating the cameras. I like being in the editing room and working with the editing programs. I don't know where that came from, but I sure do enjoy it. So I put those things together. And the rest is history.
You know what I think is delightful about this is that I went on your website just this morning to see what the newest situations were. And you were telling this very story on your website, and I thought how perfect that she's going to come and do that here for us today so that our viewers can take a look at that too. Because they say, and this is some kind of a statistic, I don't know where it's from, but the two greatest fears of most people, number one, the fear of dying, and number two, the fear of public speaking.
Absolutely.
So when you said you're afraid to be a public speaker, you're one of the many. And how do you get over that? What do you do? And it's like you said, you go out and do it.
You go out and do it, and what you have to get over, at least for me, the number one thing, because there's no way that I could accomplish it or get past certain things by practicing in private. You could do a little bit, but you actually have to go out there and make the mistakes.
Yes.
And make the mistakes in front of people and be okay with that. And I made plenty of those.
What I think too is so important in that aspect is that that seems to be the main fear of people, is to make a mistake in public.
And looking dumb.
And looking dumb or whatever it might be.
Looking whatever you
And-
feel.
Yes, and I had the greatest drama coach one time, Doug Anderson, say this to me when I had to go out. I was going to be in a show that he was producing. He wanted me to sing, and I'm not a singer. I can carry a tune in a bucket, that's about it. And of all the songs, it was the Betty Boop, that boop boop badoop thing.
That's cute.
I had to memorize it, I had to learn the song, I was scared to death, and you're so afraid of failing.
Yes.
And finally, when he realized this is the fear that kept coming up, he said, Jean, if you make a mistake, build it in. And
Okay.
I've done that ever since. You just build it in. Because if you make the mistake, and I don't know of any speaker or any performer
Doesn't.
who hasn't,
Yes.
somewhere in their life, they've made a mistake.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
It's true. And you, when you think about it, you don't die because you made a
No,
mistake.
That's right.
You may have felt dumb, you may have felt embarrassed, you may have, but so
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
The point is, you're out there speaking,
So
and
you,
chances are you'd love it. When I think of you now,
yeah.
I can't imagine you being afraid because you're so comfortable.
Yes.
It's
in front
fun
of the
now.
camera.
It's
Absolutely.
become fun, yes.
It's like you said earlier,
Yeah.
Diane, once you get that mic in your hand, we have to
You
fight to take
bet
it
to
away.
take it away.
I'm not at that
Absolutely.
point yet.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's wonderful. You have accomplished so much, and I bet you're very proud of yourself, right?
I am enjoying it, and it does give me a sense of realization that it's never too late to get started with these
Never.
things.
Absolutely.
I think that's what's important, yeah.
I agree 100%. Wow.
I know, the only reason why I quit being an employee is that I had to be working full-time at the business I created when I was 65, and I was still working. And I found that I
Wow.
can't go out and speak and do all these things and still have a job.
Impossible.
So I had to make the decision, do I quit
Sure.
working and try to do it full-time? And like you said, of course you do.
Yeah, you
You've got
do.
the rest of your life, of
You
course
do.
you do.
Yeah.
Of course you
And I
do.
did.
I have an 87-year-old mother
Mhm.
who comes from the old country and has a lot of talents, and one day we decided what we were going to do. I've got the WomanVision TV Where Women Talk program, and I thought, Mom, let's do some things with the recipes that you do, the crafting that you do, the
Excellent.
quilting that you do, and let's do it like a television program. And she rolled right into it, never having ever been on a camera. We call it the Grandma
Oh.
Sylvia Show.
Oh,
That's online at the
beautiful.
same website. And she's a natural, better than I ever could have been in the very beginning. I'm so proud of her.
Wonderful.
great?
And she's having a
Absolutely.
ball with it.
It's wonderful. And I think, one of many messages you're giving to our audience too is that, no matter what your age, try to think of what are the things you wish you could have done.
Yes.
It wouldn't have been nice if I didn't
Yes.
have to, if I could have done. Well, once you're retired, there's basically nothing stopping you from doing what you could have done.
Absolutely nothing.
And you
That's
think,
so
well, I don't
true.
have the
Yep.
money for that, I don't have the money for that. Well, you don't need money, go
No.
volunteer.
For most
No.
things, you don't
You
need
don't.
a lot of money. You're right. If there's a skill you want to develop or something that you want to do, volunteering is
You
fantastic
get,
for
all,
that.
you get all that training for free.
Yeah.
You do.
Just go
You
and do it, and it's great.
Completely. It's the idea that you feel good when you are doing something that is, you're volunteering.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with some of the things I do, I'm working with children and I'm teaching them about carnival and making sure that they get involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
They have fun with it. And it makes me happy.
And by carnival, what she's talking about is the
The
St. Paul Winter
Winter
Carnival.
Carnival.
That
Mhm.
carnival, yep.
Yeah. Well, and the women that I bring on the show, I have access to a tremendous group of women, writers and authors. It's fun to showcase them and the things that they're doing for whether it's for the community, for other women, and they get an opportunity too. And we have so much fun. And the new women that I've met have become friends, so I meet a whole lot of new friends
That's
doing
wonderful.
that.
That's great. That's a way to take care of it and just enjoy the people that you work with. Just like Jeannie and I have known each other for quite a while.
Long time.
And that's how our friendship started.
And now I know you guys.
Yes, I think that's just wonderful.
Somebody asked me about you just today, and I said, well, I think we first met when you and I were both involved with this, with the pageant.
Pageants.
The Senior America
Senior
pageant.
America
That was
pageant.
going
Yep.
on here in Minnesota.
Right.
And then you got overwhelmingly involved volunteering with the St. Paul Winter Carnival.
Of course, I started
You've been
that.
Oh, you've been at that forever.
I started with the Winter Carnival in 1945.
Isn't that
Goodness,
something?
yeah.
And don't count. And that's what gave me the fun feeling of being able to volunteer, just like you're saying. And now you've made friends forever, probably.
Oh, yes, yes.
I think that's absolutely great. Anything else you would like us to know about you?
I think that's some of the most interesting parts. It's overcoming those obstacles and remembering that we're not too old to do these things. You know, sometimes people get to be over 50, over 60, over 70, and they think it's too late to train. It's not.
It's not.
It's just not. It's just not ever too late.
It's the fun of keeping busy and enjoying what you're doing. Just like I feel when I'm doing something like this, I think how wonderful and how lucky I am to be able to do this.
And I think one of the advantages too, and again for our audience to kind of get this idea, many times it's because of our, quote, advanced age that we're being as successful as we are.
Yes.
I know when I go out and actually perform,
Right.
people don't expect somebody, and I'll say this at 83, to go out and be a performer. They just don't expect it. I'm older than many of the people I perform for.
And when they
Oh,
see you, they're
yeah.
delighted.
They're delighted, and they get the same idea.
Right.
You can do stuff even though,
Right.
even though, so what? You're older.
It inspires
What
people.
difference does that make?
It does.
You know?
Well, when we have our all big audience, which we fill the theater with, and there's 4 of us that do this, and we invariably have a little question and answer time. And it always happens to us. The 4 of us are on stage, and a little one will get up and I'll say, okay, now hold your hand up, now we can hear you. Let's make sure. How old are you? We get it every time, and it's just a laughing time. And then we tell them how old we are, and you hear this, really? So it's a fun time, an exciting time, and we enjoy so much things, as you are saying, exactly as you're saying.
Yeah, it's fun to see their expressions because their
Oh.
perception of age is so
Oh,
different
you're-
from ours.
Yes, absolutely. That's so true. Well, Nadia, I can't say how wonderful this was. It was great, it was exciting, and what you have done is making people happy, and yourself. So thank you so very much for coming, and we enjoyed it.